Today, we have Stader Labs for an interview I know the Hedera community is going to be interested in. We have Amit and Gautam from Stader, as well as Elaine back from the HBAR Foundation. Welcome, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Brandon. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Brandon.
So
very excited about it. Thanks a lot for having us.
Oh, good. Absolutely. So Amit, we'll start with you. What is Stader, and why should the Hedera community be excited about it?
Gotcha. A little bit about Stader. What we are trying to build in the long run is we are actually building these modular smart contract infrastructure that is specifically tailored towards staking. And this modular smart contracts, the beauty of it is they can be customized for any type of use case. So you can kind of think of us as the AWS for staking. We want to do what AWS did to Web2 applications. We want to do that for staking, right? Now, the way we are architecting our smart contracts is we can use the Stader smart contracts for the retail in the public domain. We can also strip out these smart contracts, put them on an exchange or a custodian, and yet the staking contracts interact with the decentralized applications or the blockchain applications, right? That's the beauty of how we are architecting the contracts, right? Now, potentially in most of the blockchains, staking is very plain, right? It's very dull, boring. You just go stake your tokens and they auto compound, or you need to go claim those tokens and restake. What we are building is we are building three different products. First one is something called liquid staking, which is a popular product among the retail customers. The second solution that we are building is yield redirection on top of staking rewards, where users can come stake with us, where we stake with a set of underlying validators, and the rewards that are coming out, they are periodically taken out and have the ability to redirect those rewards across different protocols in the ecosystem, right? That's the second product. Then the third and fourth solutions are quite customized to a specific business or enterprise segments use case, right? We have built all these three solutions on Terra. Our products went live on Terra towards the end of November. There is about 8.7 million Luna that is staked. In today's terms, it's probably close to about $870 million of capital, and more than 30,000 wallets are actually staking with us.
Impressive. So I've covered several current and future ways to earn yield on HBAR. Can you give us some more detail around specifically how to earn HBAR returns using Stader?
Yep, absolutely. So in the beginning, we will launch liquid staking on Hedera. And in phase 2, we will launch simplified staking. So these are the two products that we have on our roadmap for Hedera. Immediately, I think in about 2 to 3 weeks time frame, liquid staking, which is the HBAR X product, will be going live. The way it works is users will have to deposit their HBAR from their wallets into Stader smart contract, and they get a token called HBAR X in return. HBAR X is like the compound token, which is C token. Every epoch, as the rewards are accumulated, the HBAR X will increase in the value. Not the volume, it increases in value.
Mm-hmm.
So today, let's say today is the Genesis block, and one HBAR is equal to one HBAR X. By end of today, let's say you have 0.1 HBAR as rewards. Your HBAR X will grow in price from 1 to 1.1. So tomorrow, if somebody is trying to deposit HBAR and take out HBAR X, he will have to, for one HBAR X, he'll have to deposit 1 by 1.1. So 1 into 1.1 HBAR.
So my next question was to go into more detail about HBAR X, but you've kind of already touched on that. So do you think there's going to be a secondary market that builds around HBAR X specifically? Is that possible?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, absolutely. That is the whole idea of liquid staking. One, there will be AMMs that can be created using HBAR X and HBAR. Typically, there is a 21-day unlock period on HBAR staking that can be avoided by going and swapping HBAR X to HBAR on an AMM.
Okay.
And beyond that, there can be several DeFi use cases that will be built on top of HBAR X like lending markets, potentially options, futures in the future. All of these are possibilities. Cross-chain lending solutions as well.
That is exciting. That's awesome. So, Elaine, why did the HBAR Foundation partner with Stader?
Yeah, so there are a couple of major reasons. I think at the very beginning, right, the HBAR Foundation is acutely aware that we need to bring more crypto native and DeFi oriented use cases to the ecosystem. And for us, a lot of that comes from staking, right? Staking really is kind of staking along with AMMs are really those first two use cases within DeFi that we knew that we had gaps in. And so we really prioritize staking. The second thing is because of where the rest of the DeFi market is and where the Hedera ecosystem was at the end of last year, we knew we needed a solution that was going to enable us to build really quickly, both in terms of the actual staking product, but also the different like AMM strategies and lending and like arbitrage opportunities and secondary markets on top of a baseline staking program. We knew that we needed to build. And so when we found the Stader team, I think it was a really good match in terms of where our priorities were and what the team's capabilities and focus was. So like Amit said, you know, the Stader product, the key of the Stader product is the fact that all the smart contracts are modular, right? So it allows you to build multiple different types of products that are very customizable. And so we wanted to have that technical layer within the Hedera ecosystem that one would give us the baseline use case of staking, but two, it would enable the rest of the Hedera ecosystem to start building on top of it new DeFi use cases. And so, yeah, I mean, we've been so impressed with the Stader team. You know, they're first incredible in terms of how they think about the product, and two, they're incredibly fast. And so for us, it was kind of this match made in heaven.
Good. So, Gautam, where does the HBAR come from that increases the HBAR value of HBARX?
Sure. So, like before I answer that, so let me sort of just recapitulate HBARX, right? So essentially what, like Amit said, it's essentially a liquid token, which gives you the option of getting your staking rewards, as well as the flexibility of participating in DeFi and sort of getting out of your position when you want to. That's really the beauty of liquid staking as compared to the traditional sort of locked in staking that a lot of the other networks have. In terms of how the value accrues to the token, in sort of any sort of POS network, the idea is that ultimately the nodes that are running transactions will kind of generate transaction fees or node fees, whatever you want to call it, and that will kind of flow back to investors who have staked with those nodes. Now in Hedera, since it is not completely permissionless yet, we're in this sort of transition phase that we are sort of bootstrapping the staking network or staking market, as well as sort of moving towards more of a permissionless open network, right? So currently, it will be from the foundation's grant that will kind of, the rewards will accrue, but more sort of long term, the idea is for these two sort of markets to build up together. And ultimately, we end up in a situation where it's like a self-sustaining loop, that the staking goes to node operators and the value that node operators generate through the transactions goes back to the delegators or investors.
Okay, that makes sense. So what is the range that you would expect when this launches? It sounds like it's going to be in 2 to 3 weeks. When this launches, what's the range of returns do you think we could get?
Yeah, so I wouldn't really want to comment on that. So that's
Sure.
some of the things that we are still kind of working out, right? Amit is an optimist and he wants us to launch as soon as possible, but realistically, it'd probably be 3.5 weeks. I can tell from the team. But so we'll, in due course, we'll be announcing all of those things. We'll be walking the community through the product. We'll be giving you step-by-step guides. And we'll also, give you all the math in terms of how much return does that look.
Yeah, and if I could just chime in here.
Sure.
When we think about going live with Stader, for us having a market competitive yield rate is kind of foundational to the product launch. And so that's just something that from the foundation we are aiming at.
Sure. That makes sense. So Elaine, to continue on with you, is this the only yield play for the foundation, or are there others that you're working on?
So it's not the only yield play. I think, I don't want to comment specifically on other opportunities, but what I can say is first that I think because Stader is modular, right? There are going to be multiple channels that will leverage or end up leveraging the Stader smart contracts, right? So the launch that's going to come in the next 3.5, 4 weeks, will really be the Stader platform, right? So you can go to whatever stader.hedera.com or something or staderlabs.hedera.com, and you'll be able to see the staking platform, right? So that will be one yield opportunity or one channel, right? But there might be other applications because of how Stader is structured in their modular smart contracts that will leverage those smart contracts to build. So maybe we have another wallet or another exchange that's leveraging Stader to enable HBAR staking, right? So these are all other yield opportunities that will then be assessed and addressed accordingly. Of course, there are other staking partners, but we really think that the modularity of the Stader smart contract is going to manifest in like a number of ways. And at the end of the day, you might not even realize that you're using the Stader smart contract. All you're doing is staking HBAR in a way that's intuitive and easy and fun, right? Like they have these baseline 3 products that are just incredibly cool. So we're hoping that will kind of just flow through the ecosystem.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So, Gautam, one of the top concerns when using a new platform like Stader is security. What steps have you taken to ensure security?
Sure. And security, ultimately, we are a financial product, so we take security very, very seriously. So even if you look at our track record, right, one of our products on Terra has like 3 independent audits, the other one has 2 independent audits, right? And we've always tried to kind of push the boundaries on inculcating best practices in our coding, as well as continuously getting third parties to review our code, because we see security as an ongoing activity that you always have to kind of stay ahead of the game, right? Specifically to our plans on Hedera, we are already in talks with a couple of third-party audit firms. So right off the bat, we will either be in audit and do a cap launch, or we would have completed that one audit, and people would have that sense of security that it's been the code has been sort of vetted by a third party, which is credible, right? And like I said, it's a continuous process for us. So going forward, as we launch more and more products or add more functionality to our products in Hedera, we'll periodically get third parties to look at our code, in an ongoing basis.
And you've already gone through some of those audits for the products that you already offer, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That makes sense. So, Amit, back to you. Second, right behind security is ease of use. I've used some platforms that are so difficult to use that I've eventually given up. So specifically talking about HBAR, how's the user interface coming along with Stader?
It is going to be incredibly easy.
Okay.
And it's going to be very intuitive.
Okay.
All the user needs to do is press the connect wallet button and stake HBAR, and that's it. He will have HBARX in his wallet. It's going to be like simple, like two-click process.
Are there specific wallets that we should use, or can we use any wallet?
So we are already working with a couple of wallets.
Okay.
As the other obviously the idea is to support as many wallets that are building on HBAR as possible. So long answer, like short answer, in the short term, it'll be 2 to 3 wallets. And then obviously within a few weeks, all the wallets that are building on Hedera will be supported.
All right. Well, this has been great. I'm going to go around the horn and give you guys an opportunity to give some final thoughts. Amit, we'll start with you. Any final thoughts?
I think thanks, Elaine and the HBAR Foundation for giving us the opportunity to build on Hedera. We are extremely excited to be building, as well as it has been definitely a challenging journey, because we have so far been building on Rust. Now Hedera is the first blockchain which is non-Rust, and we have been building quite well on that one. Obviously, extremely excited because the ecosystem is just starting out, and we would want to see HBARX being a very critical and probably omnipresent token.
All right. Good stuff. Gautam, how about you? Any final thoughts?
Yeah, so I mean, just echoing what Amit said, but just to add to that, I think ultimately these products are built with the community. So just want the community to interact with us. Just going back to your point on the interface, we'll have like alpha testing, beta testing of the product, so that actual a set of users can use it, give us feedback before we launch, and all of those kind of things. So we believe in building our products along with the community because ultimately they are for the community to use. So, just a shout out to your fans and people who are watching to kind of help us, support us, follow us, and we'll make sure that we live up to the expectations.
Well, you've already been engaging really well, so I certainly appreciate it, and I know the community does as well. Elaine, let's round it out with you.
Yeah, I mean, I think first and foremost, really we should be thanking you guys. We are really excited to have such a strong partner when it comes to staking and kind of laying those DeFi foundations within the Hedera ecosystem. So we are incredibly excited as well to see Stader go live. I think one thing that I just want to touch on is, Hedera is really a network built for power users, right? It's incredibly fast, it's very reliable, and the fees are very reliably low and at this point very stable, right? And so when it comes to building DeFi use cases like staking that will not only pressure test the network, but will also have massive amounts of throughput, we think Hedera is the perfect network for this, right? And then you add on top of that, the fact that it's carbon negative, right? The network's energy efficiency has really lended itself well to staking, right? And so when we get to partner with someone like Stader Labs, who I think the one thing that really struck me was you had mentioned in one of your blog posts that your mission is to bring staking to the next billion people, right? That can really only happen when the network is scalable. Mm-hmm. And so we're really excited to be a part of that, to be a part of Stader's mission, and to really enable kind of the DeFi use cases that are so important in crypto to go mainstream, hopefully on the Hedera network. But, just overall kind of bringing our scalability into like the crypto power user.
Yeah, and I've said a few times in the past that efficiency goes beyond environmental efficiency, and I certainly believe that. And I want environmental efficiency. There's no question about that, but it goes far beyond that. Thanks again so much for you guys for joining. I know the community is going to appreciate your time.